everyone. Today we will be talking about how to make square tops in copper plate calligraphy, and let's dive right in without any further ado. So the first step in being able to create a square top is to draw a horizontal line like this, a short horizontal line. Okay, so this is the easiest part that you can do. Now the second step is a little difficult to understand and to comprehend for a beginner, but I will try my best to explain how I do it. So once you have drawn the short horizontal line, you have to do two things together. One is to spread the tines so that the thick downstroke is possible, and the second is to pull it down, pull the nips down simultaneously. So which means that after you have drawn the short line, you will spread the tines and pull the nips down together. So these two will happen together, right? So let me show you how it is done. So suppose this is the short line that I have drawn. So after that happens, spread the tine and come down. Okay, so short line, spread the tines, come down, right? So you are doing the second and the third step together. They are not separate steps, right? You are not like spreading the tines first and then coming down. These two things are happening together. Let me do it once more. Short line, spread the tines and come down together. I will do this once without any ink in my nib so that you can see how my nips and tines are moving. Okay, so there is no ink in my nib right now. So I am drawing a short line, spreading the tines and coming down, right? Drawing a short line, spreading the tines and coming down. So this is how we usually make the square top. So here one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you actually what is happening is that suppose that this is the axis of your tine, right? There is an imaginary axis going between the two tines. So if these two are the tines, then the gap between it is the axis of it. So when we are spreading the tines are spreading equally on both sides of the axis, right? It's not like one is static and one is spreading. So you are retracing the horizontal line that you just drew by spreading them together and then pulling down. So what you feel is, you will feel as if your right tine, this tine, is static on the right end of the horizontal line, and only your left tine spreads, reaches the left end of the horizontal line, and then it comes down. But that is not what is happening. What is happening is that when you are drawing the horizontal line and then spreading the tines and coming down, because you are coming down simultaneously and are spreading together, you don't feel the effect of the spreading of the tine on both sides equally, right? So that is something that you have to keep in mind. So basically your tines are spreading equally on both sides and you are coming down together. So that is what is happening. This is something that you will keep in mind. Never think that only your left tine is spreading. Okay, if you are going to do that, then your strokes will be very difficult to make, because to keep your right tine static on the same position on the right end of the horizontal line will be very difficult. Okay, there is a possibility that it might shift from there when you are spreading the left tine only. So don't try to do that. Okay, so what you have to do is to try to spread the tines equally and come down equally. That is how you will be able to do it successfully. Okay, so now I will show you some of the errors that you might come across if you do it wrongly. So I have made a plate already to show you what are the errors that can occur. So here you will see that the square top looks absolutely perfect, right? There is nothing going wrong here. But here you will see that there is a right cliff formation. So this happens when your downward movement is lower than the spreading of the tine. So your downward movement was slower than the spreading, because that's why I told you that these two motions should absolutely happen synergistically and simultaneously. And here you will see a cliff on the left side. So this happens exactly because of the opposite reason. So here it happened because your downward movement was slower. Here it happened because your downward movement was faster than the spreading of the tines. So the tines could not reach the extreme end of this horizontal line, and before that itself you were coming down. So that is why this happened. And here you might notice that there is a little spillage going on at the top. So here you will see there is no spillage at all, but here you will see a little bit of spillage happening. So this happens because when you are spreading the tine, your left tine might have jumped up rather than coming down. So if you are not quick enough to come down, your ink will jump out of the horizontal line, and this mainly happens because of your left tine not coming down perfectly. It's the left tine that usually results in this spillage. Maybe it's particular to me. I have noticed that if my left tine is not manipulated perfectly in synergism with the right tine, then this happens to me. So that is something that you have to be careful about. This is something that I struggled with the most while I was learning how to make the square top. These two were not that much of a big issue, but this was. Also, one thing you have to keep in mind is that when you make the horizontal line, make it as wide as the tines can take. So every nib has a certain flexibility, different flexibility. I had talked about that in my previous video. So if you are spreading it, if you are making the horizontal line way too wide and your nib is not that flexible, then you won't be able to reach any one of the extreme ends of this horizontal line when you are trying to come down or retrace the path. Okay, so that is also something you have to keep in mind. So what I tend to do is, if I know the maximum flexibility of the nib, then I draw the horizontal line a little less than the maximum flexibility of the nib. So if my nib is flexible, let me show you. So my nib is actually the total flexibility, the maximum flexibility of the nib is this much, right? So it can go this wide, right? But I will not make the horizontal line that wide, because then most of my energy will be spent in making the downstroke that wide, right? And it also does not look beautiful, and I will see a cliff formation if I make my top line that wide, right? If I am not able to reach that. So if this is the maximum width of my or the flexibility of my nib, then I will make a short horizontal line only this wide, right? So that I can concentrate on making the stroke and the square top beautifully, rather than concentrating on making that wide of a stroke. So I will go ahead, draw a line and then do this. So this is not as wide as this, but this is the maximum flexibility, but I am not using all of its flexibility in making the stroke, right? So this is how we do the square top. So if this has helped you, please let me know. If you have any doubts, let me know that as well. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be coming up with more helpful videos for you guys. So stay tuned and love you all. Take care. Bye bye.